Hello and welcome to my review of the Genestealers for Tyranids for Warhammer 40,000. One of these box sets will cost you £32.50 and consists of 109 plastic components and comes with 10 32mm round bases. So that is £2.50 more than a box of 10 Hormagaunts. And for what you get, I think that is worth it. Of course, the normal format of this review is as follows. I'll have a look at all of these Genestealers each individually. I'll talk about how easy they were to build, any issues I had. Then we'll look at the spare parts, of which there are quite a few, but it's just heads, different heads. Then I'll go through some size comparisons with other infantry battle line units like Hormagaunts and Termagants and some of the bigger creatures. And then we will go through all of the rules for these Genestealers. So the reason why I think it's a good kit is, again, much like the Hormagaunts, the poses. The poses really do make this kit. Each one of these Genestealers is an individual in a way, which I never thought I'd ever say for a horde army such as Tyranids. It's an odd direction that Games Workshop have gone in. They've done away with posability and multi-part option kits, and they're focused on, you know, unique models. Models that are, even though for a horde army, they are all different. The only models that are very similar are the easy to build ones, which would be the Termagants. Everything else has an individuality, which includes these Genestealers. Can you run them in a horde army? I mean, I already have a load of older Genestealers, which were a bit of a pain. There's a bit of a debate about which kit is better, this or the old kit. On the whole, I think this kit is slightly better, and one of the main reasons is because the arms, all of the arms themselves, are plug and socket. So you can snip those square plugs off and you can go to town with all of the different arm poses. Whether or not those arms will match all of the other different Genestealers in the unit, it remains to be seen, but you can do that if you wanted to mod the kit. And certainly if I was to pick up another one of these at some point, which I probably wouldn't, the only way I would get a second set is if it was in an army set or something, or Battle Force at Christmas, then I would certainly try my luck and do that. Because I don't want to have 20 Genestealers and just 10 sets of twins. So I've rambled on for quite a bit. Let's have a look at the miniatures. What they've done, much like with the Hormagaunts, is they've actually given them all kind of like tactical bases, tactical rocks, things to stand on and to leap from, and all those kind of things. So yes, you've got this one here. There isn't really a leader of them all, but this one gets a kind of drain or sewage pipe or something that it's standing on. Very nice poses. So you've got that one, you've got this one kind of moving to the left, a bit of an odd pose, that one. You've got this one, trying to get the lighting right today, sort of reaching out, sprinting, which is nice. You've got this one, which looks very similar to like a Genestealer cult, Genestealer pose. And then this one, which is odd because it's kind of got one hand open and then one claw open, so it's a bit strange. You got this one reaching out and running. You got this one, which one of the coolest poses, leaping off of this tactical rock. If ever I saw one, about to rip and tear into something. And this one, again, another cool pose, holding onto that sewage pipe with one arm and leaping, about to rip with the two claws. That's one thing about Genestealers, having those four arms. You've got two that are very functional and two that are, also murderously functional. It's fantastic. You know, so they can move about and climb in things as well as have their primary weapon, these claws, available to them at any time. And this one leaping over a bit of ruined masonry there. And then I think this is the last one. Again, this is the hugger. This one really wants a hug. So very impressed with all of these poses for each of these Genestealers. I think it's fantastic. As I say, the downside of this for a Horde army is, you know, you buy another set of these and they're going to look the same unless you cut those plugs off. But if you've got Genestealer cults, this is a gift. It really is. You know, you've got Genestealer cults and you want to put some Genestealers with your Genestealer cults. This is now a very good box set to have for them. If you can overlook having to possibly buy, you know, 2 sets of the same. If it was me, I'd try and get hold of the older set, even though I'm not a big fan, and get one of these. And then you've got enough variety, and you could potentially put a few of these. You could mix them around in with the older kit. I'm not sure whether the older kit has the 32mm bases though. I think it has the smaller sort of 28mm. So yeah, that's what I would suggest doing, is mixing them up if you find the same bases. All of that being said, mold lines. Out of all of the kits I have built so far of the Tyranids, and I've built all of the brand new kits, these are the worst by far. Mainly because they're 4 arms, but also there are mold lines on the claws, on the arms. These will take you longer than you expect. Termagants do as well, so do Hormagaunts, but certainly these do take the longest with those mold lines. And that's the one thing I was kind of apprehensive about any new Genestealer kit, is whether they share the same issues with mold lines as the older kit, and they do. So that being said, let's have a look at the spare parts, of which you don't really get any spare arms or claws or anything like that. You do get some spare heads, so you can go for a sort of full Call of Cthulhu sort of heads with these tendril things, which will make them look a little bit like lictors, possibly, but I think you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So full on 10 feeder tendril heads, so you can have all of them with that. And if I was to pick up another set in the future, or you know, had a set with an army kit, then I'd use all of these tendrils. You only get 4 of these different heads with the tongues with the talons on, or these with the proboscis, whatever they're called. You only get 4 of those, which is a bit of a shame. But then again, are they really going to bundle in 30 heads for a 10 unit kit? Who knows? Whether you can use these for anything, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they fit on the old kit, but I just thought I'd show you the spare parts. Size comparisons then. Firstly, let's show you some size comparisons with kind of infantry units for Tyranids. So here's a Hormagaunt and here's a Termagant. Probably best to show you this one, sort of moving forward. Genestealers are the biggest out of the 3. You know, not only have they got 4 full-sized limbs, well technically they've got 6 obviously, but they are just bigger. They've got the carapace on the, you know, surrounding their spine. Their heads are kind of more bulbous. They're on the bigger bases, but you know, if you're going to be going for Genestealers, your opponent's going to spot them a mile away because they have the four limbs that can be viewed quite easily, and they just stand out a bit bigger than the Termagants and the Hormagaunts. I'd say the Hormagaunts are the smallest possibly, or the most lupine looking. Anyway, that's where Genestealers stand with those 2 infantry kind of units compared to like a Tyranid Prime. Tyranid Prime is bigger than those. I wouldn't be much of a reviewer if I didn't review them next to their older kin right here. So this is a Genestealer with the talons. I think the older kit had talons or the claws. So yeah, you can see, actually I think that's 25mm base actually. So yeah, you can see that these new Genestealers are bigger and more detailed. and yeah, definitely on the carapace and things. Like these old ones, they just had these kind of odd looking spine, and you put these pieces on, and yeah, just, I mean, they're all right, but these new ones are just way better. Look at that, size wise, just fantastic. And then I'll just, you know, compare them to like the Broodlord. Why not? So this is a very big kind of Genestealer psychic. Well, the other one's a psychic. It's a matriarch. I can't remember. But yeah, way bigger. But you know, these new Genestealers go very well with the Broodlord. We've actually got some Genestealers that work well with it now, which is, yeah, fantastic. Compared to other minis, of course, we've got the Swarmlord right there. We've got a Lictor, which, you know, with the feeder tendrils, they would work quite well with it, I think. And they would also work well with the feeder tendrils with a Death Leaper as well. You know, you can have a Death Leaper there and a Broodlord and go to town. Compared to the Norn Emissary, which is quite a large model. There you go. And then compared to some Imperial models, specifically the models in the Leviathan set. So we've got a Ballista Dreadnought and we've got a Terminator there. This is what, you know, this is the, I say age old, this is the, you know, face-off that we want between Terminators and Genestealers. And although we had to wait until you know, the separate kit for Genestealers, it's worth the wait. The sizes are fantastic. They both work very well. This is probably like the best sort of size continuity, I guess, of any two miniatures. I think these are great. They're both the size that they should be. And they work very well. So if you've got Terminators and you've got Genestealers and you find some kind of like Space Hulk, the game is going to look amazing, I have to say, if you're using the new Terminators and the new Genestealers. Other Imperial models, this is where it gets a bit odd. You know, so you've got normal Space Marines here. Genestealers, yeah, do dwarf the Legacy Space Marines now. Slime Marbo is looking a bit small. And then Primaris, yeah, not too bad with the Primaris. They're fine with the Primaris Space Marines too. So there you go. That's all of the Imperium comparisons I wanted to make. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for the Genestealers. You'll find them in your brand new Tyranid Codex, nestled between Tyranid Warriors and Neurogaunts for some bizarre reason. Their points cost is 95 points for 5 models or 190 points for 10. So yes, they are kind of 19 points per model. They are pretty pricey in the Tyranid points scheme. What do you get for those 190 points for 10 of these? Well, you are going to be getting a movement of 8 inches, toughness of 4, save of 5+, with an invulnerable save of 5+, 2 wounds, leadership 7, and an objective control of 1. That's not too shabby. You know, 2 wounds each, you got your toughness 4, they're fast at 8 inches, you got an invulnerable 5+ save, pretty good. That's not where it ends though. Where it ends is their melee weapons. So they're equipped with Genestealer claws and talons. They're a melee weapon. They have 4 attacks, weapon skill 2+, strength of 4, AP -2, and a damage of 1. Brilliant. Yes, it would have been great if they had AP -3, of course, you know, but 4 attacks each with 10 of them, 40 attacks there. You're going to be hitting with most of those on that 2+. You're probably going to be wounding with that strength 4, and then you're just ripping and tearing with that AP -2. It's going to cause a lot of damage to, well, definitely a 5-man Primaris unit, maybe even a 10-man Primaris unit, depending on whether they get in range. Yes, their invulnerable saves are going to help. You need to buff them with other Tyranid units, but yeah, very decent. Abilities. They have a core ability, Scouts, 8 inches, Faction, Synapse, Vanguard, Predator. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, Reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target is within range of 1 or more objective markers, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well, which is insane. Rerolling hits and wounds of a 1 if they're within range of an objective marker. Very, very nice. You know, it's yes, they've got 2+ to hit anyway, but rerolling those hits of a 1 is fantastic. Of course, the only thing you're missing is the ability to get them into close combat quicker. You know, movement of 8 inches is nice, but it's not the 10 inches that the Hormagaunts have. Unit composition, 5 to 10 Genestealers, and every model is equipped with Genestealer claws and talons. Keywords: infantry, Great Devourer, Vanguard, Invader, Genestealers, Tyranids. And there you go, that's the Genestealers. I don't think Games Workshop have messed with them too much. I think it's good that they've got 2 wounds, it's good that they've got invulnerable save. They're kind of tough in Tyranid speak. They're kind of tough compared to other Tyranids of this size. And they will do a lot of damage with their 40 attacks if they get close. So if you see a unit of these, especially a unit of 10, just shoot the absolute hell out of them. From as far away as you possibly can. At least they can't advance and charge like Hormagaunts, but still, you need to be taking these out because these are your opponent's like primary melee focused unit that can cause your Space Marine equivalent units a bit of damage. In summary, I really like these Genestealers. I think they are a gift for anybody that plays Genestealer cults as well. Their old kit did need a revamp. And there are definitely still other kits that need revamps, and I would have picked the revamp kits over like a newer kit like the Neurogaunts or even the Neurolictor, but there we go. What do you guys think of these new Genestealers? I think they're a long time coming. I'm happy that they have arrived. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be good to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For the Norn Queen.